Oh my God. Empathy without discernment is a fucking trap. It is a trap, my guy. You're going to ruin your life. That's what I want to talk about right now. I see it all too often. We have this almost like a cultural necessity to feel other people's emotions. And to a degree, that's great. Caring about other humans is great. Loving other people, that's wonderful. And we should aspire to always be giving unconditional love to other people. However, where life starts to get a little shitty is when we have all this empathy without the discernment to realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be carrying everybody else's baggage. That's going to lead me to having a very bad time. I want to talk about vibration here because that's what this is. This entire game, it's a matrix and it's all about the vibe. That doesn't mean that other people aren't real. It just means that the emotions that you carry within yourself always come out to play. There is a cause that precedes the effect being the world that you experience outside of yourself. And so when you carry emotions that you pick up from other people due to your empathy, again, I'm on your team. Empathy is great. It's a wonderful thing. But when you carry other people's fears, when you carry other people's sadness, when you carry other people's shame, and you listen to all of their problems, and then you reaffirm to them these problems. Oh my God, you're right. The economy, it's so tough. It's so bad. It's so bad. There's so many angry people out here. They're so hateful. Why are those so hateful? Oh my God, there's just so much evil out in this world. Yeah, sweetheart, you're fine. When you do all that gay bullshit, you are fucking your vibration into oblivion. Because now you just absorbed all of those fears from the other people. You just absorbed all of that doubt from the other people. And what does it give way to? What does it give way to? The ultimate enemy in life, if there is any enemy other than yourself, is your thoughts. It is your ego. And so when you talk to other people and you start thinking with your mind about their problems and you are absorbing their emotions, you are giving your own energy, your own awareness, your own focus to the presence of those problems. And the way this game works is your subconscious doesn't care whether it's somebody else's problems that you're talking about or it's your problems that you are perceiving. All it knows is that you're giving energy and awareness to there being something wrong. And so when you give more energy and awareness to there being something wrong, guess what, little boy? You're going to attract it. You're going to attract it into your life. Now, why I believe empathy is a good thing, and a lot of the people, I'd imagine, a lot of the people that find this channel, you've dealt with addictions in the past. You've dealt with ruminating thoughts in the past. And so as you go through your own addictions and you suffer a little bit, you gain this sense of empathy because you are now compassionate. You have a higher amount of compassion that you can give to another human being, which is essentially putting yourself in their shoes because you've been there before. If you've been an alcoholic like myself, I'm not going to judge somebody for having a drinking problem. Instead, I can offer my unconditional love to them as they are going to get through it, and that's really all they need right now. They don't need you to judge them. They don't need you to put them down. They just need you to give them positivity, to give them light. And so having empathy is great because it allows you to put yourself in other people's shoes and it opens your heart up to experience more love. But when you start to embrace this empathy, when you get it, whether you're born with it or you pick it up over time and you feel people's emotions, that's why discernment is so key. If you don't have discernment, you're going to just indulge. You're going to overindulge in everyone else's emotions. And it doesn't just mean good emotions. It's also the bad emotions. And I used to do this a lot when I was younger. People would come to me with problems. They would complain. And I would sit there and I would listen. And I would feel their emotions. I would, bring myself down to that level to absorb that energy, because hey, they just want a friend. They want somebody that they can sulk with. They want somebody that can feel bad with them. They want thoughts and prayers from a state of being in fear and doubt and shame and all the lower emotions of this world. And I thought I was being a good friend for doing such a thing. But really, I was being my own worst enemy. I didn't have the discernment to put up a protective barrier and just live from the truth, live from the light, live from love, and share that love back to them. Instead, I was going down to their level instead of bringing them up to mine. And so what I noticed the longer I would do this is that my life started to degrade, even though I was on my shit. I was locked in. I was doing everything I should be doing, but somehow things just kept falling apart in my life. And it's because I kept giving so much my focus and my awareness and my thoughts to other people's problems, thus perpetuating the problem that wasn't in my life before, now into my life. And then I reacted to it. I didn't respond to it. I didn't understand transmutation at this point, which is sort of like an active observation. So like you are the awareness behind your ego. You are not your thoughts. You just happen to have thoughts. And then you get to choose with your awareness and your focus what thoughts you want to give energy to. And when I would have these thoughts come to me as a reaction to what I was perceiving in the outside world, then I found myself falling to those lower levels of anger or shame or doubt or fear that were attached to the original creation of that experience I was having, and thus it would perpetuate it into my experience over and over again. I was downshifting my reality by being too empathetic to bullshit that was not my problem. It sounds like a dick thing to say, but ultimately you need to just play your own life, play your own game, and by being the best version of yourself, it gives so much love and light, like a rippling effect, to everyone else outside of you, that your reality is amazing and the things you attract into it are amazing. That doesn't mean you're not going to have struggles. It doesn't mean that there aren't going to be people around you that are going through things. It just means the way that you meet the moment is going to be from a higher vibe, one of unconditional love for whatever that person is going through. But you don't have to absorb those emotions. You don't have to absorb other people's shit. That's one of the most difficult things about this entire experience. And you guys don't have to believe me. I just want to ask you to try this out in your own life. Have the awareness of this talk that we're having. And as you go through the day, start to realize what you are seeing. Think about the news for a second. Think about the news. It's always breaking. They're always trying to program you with more fear, more doubt, more anger, more judgment, more envy. They talk about these people as if they're bad. They talk about those as if they're the root of the entire situation. Whatever the problem is, they're trying to indoctrinate you into a belief system where there's always others. And you should be angry at those others. You should judge those others. You should be in fear of those others. And that type of mentality, that belief system, gives way to more thinking. You start to perceive the energy that you give to that programming, and thus you're going to experience more of it in your own life. And then they are banking on the fact that you are going to react to it negatively, thus self-destructing your own vibration and bringing you right down into the mud with them. That's where they want you, because it's easier to control you, because they're on your side. They're on your team. They're like, oh my God, oh, you don't like those people either? Come over here, come with us. By the way, buy our subscription, buy our products. Man, they want to do that shit, bro. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about your dreams. They just want you to keep watching. They want you down in the mud with them. And that's how this entire game is structured. You see it everywhere now. You can't unsee it. Once you put the glasses on, you cannot take them off. You see how this world is designed to bring you to the lower levels, to create separation between people, between souls, when in actuality, all of us are just that awareness behind the ego. And what is that awareness? Well, that is God. And so all of us have that. And since we all have that, we're like a little piece of God. So why should we act any different than God acts, which is through unconditional love? Why would we judge another aspect of ourselves? That's insanity. That's crazy work. But we've been programmed and conditioned to do that in order that we may be easily controlled and manipulated. All for the name of profit. That's how it's been for thousands of years. There's a lot of great sayings that Jesus said that talk about this, about thoughts, about bringing them back into the present so you can relive them again in the future. So he said in the Gospel of Thomas when he said, let the dead bury the dead. He's not talking literally. That's wild work, by the way, if people think he was talking literally. No, he's not. The dead is what's already happened. So let what has already happened bury itself. You don't have to deal with it anymore. The past transgressions, all the old failures, whatever it was that's in the closet, in your backpack that you've been holding down for so long, it's not your job to keep thinking about it. It's not your job to heal and do all this other bullshit and focus on the problem. Just keep focusing on the problem. Put your awareness on the problem and somehow it's going to go away. You need to release it. You need to release attachment to it. Release attachment to this identity, this ego that we have of ourselves that keeps perpetuating our own problems by bringing it up as thought forms. It is our awareness that creates the reality that we desire. So we need to be very keen on where we put our awareness. Going back to the original points in the entire video with empathy. Empathy is a great tool. It is a great way for you to expand your compassion and therefore the amount of love that you can give and experience in the world, because it allows you to put yourself in other people's shoes. And when you can put yourself in other people's shoes, suddenly you realize that we're all the same person, just living different life experiences. You may have one problem, somebody else might have another problem. Well, you've both dealt with something, so you have compassion for them. And you receive compassion because you are empathetic, you are understanding, and you meet everything with love. That is the entire point. Love everything. Even the stuff that is difficult to love on the outside, send it your love, because that's the only way it's ever going to change. It's an inside job. It always has been. It always has been. You're not going to win a war against evil by fighting fire with fire. You're only going to win it by extinguishing it with water. And the best type of water is the stillness of mind. That's, walking on water. That's what it was talking about. Being able to rise above the waters of the mind. Have it be tranquil and serene. To rise above those thoughts so you can act from a higher state of being in which you are just embodying unconditional love. And if you are embodying unconditional love, how would you act? How would you carry yourself? What would you give your awareness and focus to? I bet it would be the best version of yourself. Maybe whatever you see within yourself, your desires, that dream home, that dream job, the dream friend group, the dream relationship, you'd give your energy to that as if it's already here. He that hath has more given to him. He hath not has everything taken away. It's the same thing. It's metaphysical quantum mechanics. That's what Jesus taught, dog. He was teaching you like, bro, if you want the good stuff, focus on the good stuff. If you want everything taken away from you, focus on how it's going to get taken away. Okay, so guard your heart, guard your emotions, turn that mind off. Present awareness is the best remedy I could possibly tell anybody for anxiety. Anxiety really is just like the rumination of thoughts. And the more energy you give to those thoughts, the more they're going to come back and attack you. But when you release attachment to them, when you are just aware of them and let them pass by as if they don't even exist, suddenly they stop being so loud. They stop attacking you all the time. And then you can start living your life from a more present state of being in which you are a loving individual, a joyous individual. You fill your day with the shit that means something to you. It makes you happy. It gives you joy. And then as you dive into it, as you start embodying that version of yourself, it spreads like wildfire. Everybody else feels it. And you get more attractive. You get more abundance. You experience more opportunities and love coming into your life and friendships. All that good stuff, it's just at a different vibe. You have to focus on it. You have to put your awareness on it. You have to give your energy to it and act from it on the intuition that you receive. And stop fighting the world. You're never going to beat the world by fighting it. You have to rise above it. That's the only way. Okay? Love you guys. You're beautiful.